Hey y'all, it is Luca and welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to be attempting to build a solid glass house in The Sims 4. Some time ago, we received an update to the base game with The Sims 4. It was the Enchanted by Nature update, and we received all sorts of these very beautiful glass walls. Now, these are just technically a wallpaper. They turn walls into glass. There's several different versions. We have like a version with, these like divider pieces. We've got a version where it's like a little bit more space. We have this really pretty version right here that I can see being used in a lot of different like traditional looking builds. And we also received this one, which is like completely seamless, which is honestly so pretty. Enchanted by Nature gave us one as well, which is kind of incredible. We're in Granite Falls on the Riverside retreat lot, and we're just gonna build sort of a modern kind of glass house today. So let's go ahead and we'll get the floor plan started. So it's kind of gonna be rectangular in shape. We'll start with this one section here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2. So there's 7 tiles this way. And I believe I also have it set to be 7 tiles again this way. I did a really complicated floor plan by the looks of it. So it's actually not that complicated, and then we have a bedroom that's going to be right here and a bedroom right here as well. This is going to be a 2-bedroom space and a 2-bathroom. Each bedroom is going to have like an ensuite. This isn't really going to be a family home. You could probably turn it into a family home if you wanted, but I just wanted to build something more vibes based instead of, practicality sake. Let me move the house a little bit forward on the lot here so I can go ahead and build the back part here. I believe this is 4 tiles this way. So now what we have is a pretty rough floor plan. It's kind of a oblong little plus shape. And then I'm going to add a little little porch area here. It's going to be 4 tiles wide all around, and then we'll push it like so. I think actually I'm going to bring it in 1 tile on these sides. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Just bring it in 1 tile on all sides. It seems a little bit too wide there. And then on the roof, we're going to add, a square little flat roof shape. And we're going to raise the platform here about 4 times. Was it 4 times? And then I'm also going to add another one on these 2 little rooms right here, just like this. And then we'll bring this up 3 tiles, maybe 1 more tile actually. And then it's going to be kind of a warm gray in color just because I want it to, kind of blend in with the environment a little bit. So normally when I build a home, I like the homes to be pretty maximalist, pretty decorated, pretty, very elaborate with the colors and everything. But I was talking to my partner about this because I've been wanting to build this for a little while. And I thought, it's probably good to have it be kind of minimalist. I'm still going to add some of my own like flair to it, but this home is going to feature nature a bit more since there's going to be so many windows. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a trim on these as well, just to kind of help get rid of that awkward gap. And then on the exterior walls, we're going to use this right here, the rectangular paneled glass wall. And we're going to use this brownish swatch since it's not like brown, but it's tinted ever so slightly to be a little bit warmer. And I think that's going to look really good here. We're going to add this to all of the exterior walls pretty much. I'm leaving this wall right here just because of the toilet, because right here is going to be where the kitchen is, and that's going to be really awkward. But yeah, that is the basic look of the house. Actually, you can literally see directly through this home. I'm also going to really quickly add the ceiling tiles as well. I can't really remember which ones that I chose. I think we're just going to go with a really simple concrete kind of color. Concrete isn't a color, Luca. It's a style, but you know what I mean. I think I'm going to use this one. Ooh, this one from the Businesses and Hobbies. I'm not using it on the floor. I'm using it on the ceilings just so that I need to remember, ceilings in this game. I always tend to forget them, but you can see now like how much of a different vibe it is. And then right here on this exterior kind of patio deck kind of situation, I'm going to use this stone ruins from the Jungle Adventure pack because I think that's going to look so nice with the kitchen and as well as the exterior kind of area right here. It works with the colors really nicely. And then I'm going to include some columns as well. These are from Get Together. They match this color almost perfectly. I thought that would be a nice little touch just to add some structure. I'm going to do that on the interior walls as well, where the glass and the walls kind of meet here so that it doesn't really, leave this weird gap. Kind of helps that out a little bit. Thankfully, we don't have to pick out any windows for this build. We do have to choose some doors. I think I'm going to use maybe these doors. I kind of want to use this dark brown tone, but I may change the color. I was going to use some glass doors, but it was just a little too exposed, especially since, this is like there's a bathrooms and there's already enough glass walls. So having some proper wooden doors is nice. For the flooring, I'm kind of torn. I really like the eco lifestyle flooring. It's honestly so beautiful, but we also can use the seaside cottage flooring. It's got a little bit more of, variation in width, but also it has like the knots in it. I actually think I'm going to use that one because it just has more of a nature-y quality to it. And the tiling for the bathrooms are going to be the same. I'm going to use this tiling right here, not in the bedroom, but the bathroom here. I really like it because it's brown, but then the reflection kind of has like purples and greens in it. So it just had some variety to an already, pretty brown home. And then for the walls, I'm going to use something. It's called Martian Soil. I don't really understand the naming, but I really like this and I've been wanting to use it for a really long time. And so we're using it here. This is just like a really nice kind of tan, kind of beige color. We use it on the exterior parts as well that are exposed. Yeah, and that's the house. That's the structure. That's one thing about modern homes that I do like is the simplicity. Now for the front door, I am kind of unsure about that because I was going to use this door here from Businesses and Hobbies. I think this one looks pretty good. Actually, yeah, that looks great. I'm trying to get a lower shot. That's actually very nice. Okay. And I think for the stairs, I'm going to use this from the Island Living expansion pack. I think the wood is a nice bit of contrast against everything. Part of me wants to actually change the flooring to this outside. Ooh, see, that's really, really pretty. I'm actually a big fan of that. Which color did I use inside? I think I used the darker version. So we'll use the darker version outside and then I'll just use a darker version of that. That's actually really pretty. I was going to go for the concrete, but that warms it up significantly. Before we get too far, I'm going to work on the roof here. The roofing is really going to be cool because there is an item that came with Island Living that if you just type in crystal in your search bar, this is the easiest way for me to find it at least. It's called Crystal Clear. And it is just this clear kind of window kind of moment for the flooring, and you can place it down and see into the space below. Now you can resize this into different sizes and it work and everything. However, you need to place it down, pick it up, place it down again. The placement of this is a little bit tricky just because the way I've got the floor plan's a little bit strange. Don't look at it too close because you can see the wall right there, which actually if we want to, we can shrink it down like so. And this is where it gets a little bit strange, a little bit glitchy. You can see, but you just pick it up and place it back down and that fixes it. So that's kind of a little bit of a workaround if you want to do that. We'll put 2 more right there. And I think I meant to put 2 here as well. Yeah, because there's a bathroom right there. It's not like even and symmetrical exactly, but it's good enough. We're going to go in and I'm going to add some grass on top of here. We're going to use the one from Eco Lifestyle since it's a nice rich green color. Wait a minute. I've got this one from the base game, which my texture override actually overrode it. Overridden it? It overrid it? Girl, I don't know. I'm trying to speak in the wrong way. But yeah, that actually looks a little bit better, to be honest. And really quickly, I need to type in my cheats. So bb.show live edit objects true. And then I'm going to search up debug. Click that. And then what I can do is I'm going to filter by base game and outdoor retreat so that I can look at just this stuff here. This is what my look is for. There we go. These items right here. These are perfect. I'm just going to put, you know, as much like greenery on this roof as I can because it is a modern build. And that means I'm going to need to try to keep it from looking so like blocky. And this is a good way to do that. We'll add some tufts of lavender. It would not be a build of mine if I didn't include lavender somewhere. And honestly, why don't I use these more? These are from Outdoor Retreat and they have such a beautiful shape. We'll just add some of these as well. These little groupings of these like little white flowers. And yeah, I'll just keep doing that, you know, where I can fit it. This item right here is really good. It's actually something you can find in the base game, but also a number of other packs. It's just this really pretty like ivy. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. If you just have the base game even, you'll have that in your game. I feel like we need a little bit more right there. So I think it's going to be okay if I overlap some of the skylights. That might actually add some really nice like shadows downstairs. Ooh, it does. Look at that. Can we, oh, we can't see it. Let's have a little journey. Let's go inside. Oh, that looks really bad. Oh dear. Yeah, no, I didn't really anticipate it on looking that bad, y'all. I wonder if I can experiment. I can work with this. Hold. I have a fix for this. I'm going to place down a fence like so. And then I guess I can actually technically just remove it so I don't have to keep it there. We can place this platform back down. And then we can place the crystal like floor tile thing and we can place it inside there. That is a good fix. Honestly, I like that more. That way when we come in here, we put the walls up, we look underneath, it looks normal. Cool. I'm so glad that I found a fix for that because I was about to be so upset. I was like, no, my plans have been foiled. So actually you can just hit B and then hit control shift and this will remove the room. It's so much easier. That way I can properly place this down and have a nice skylight in each of these rooms. And we can still like overlap these plants. And honestly, if we overlap them some more, that would be great. So let's place these down just like so. Not that our Sims actually deal with this themselves, but in real life, it would be an issue to just have all these like exposed, like open skylights all the time because I can imagine it could get quite warm. And then I think I'm going to add some ferns or maybe this like kind of low-lying like bushy thing as well. I'm having issues placing this down right here. Oh dear. We'll just use some move objects to make sure I can place it. Okay, I quite like the progress here. I think I'm also going to include some solar panels. I feel like that would be a perfect addition for this build. You know, I can imagine that they try to be eco-conscious as well. You know, they built a house that maybe is made out of like eco-conscious materials. So we'll place down a couple solar panels just to kind of add to the vibe. Ooh, I love that. And then right back here, you'll notice that I didn't actually put an awning over this because I actually wanted to leave this kind of exposed, but I am going to add some of these like base game little fence pieces. We're just going to add them like so. And I am going to do like a bit all the way across just like that. I'm glad that that worked. And then we can add some trim just to get rid of those awkward white bars. And then we can even add more of these as well, just to kind of help add to it. Yeah, just like that. That looks really, really pretty. Honestly, I'm kind of obsessed. And I think I can add maybe a column right there just to kind of, maybe I can actually add more. Yeah, I'll add a couple more just to add some, you know, support. And then I'm going to add another one of these staircases back here as well, just like that. There's not going to be a whole lot of stuff to do here just because I can imagine that if you're here, you're going out and about. This home is a little bit extra for it to be a little rental property, but hey. All right, so next step is going to be the landscaping. And I'm of course going to go ahead and I'm going to draw some just dirt patches with the terrain tool. You just kind of draw little blobs. That's honestly what I do, is just these kind of rounded shapes, because where this home is very like boxy, I think having these like rounded spaces for the landscaping will help kind of, you know, work with that a little bit more. It'll kind of keep it a little bit more organic looking. You know, I'm not normally a big fan of these kinds of homes, but I think that if you're going to have something that's modern like this, it needs to have a purpose. It needs to work with the environment really well. And to kind of play along with that, I am actually going to make sure that I use real plants on the ground. I used live edit ones up here. I probably could have just got away with not using them, but they will add a green footprint to this place, which not that it necessarily needs it because we're in the wilderness. Obviously the wilderness has already got, a good eco green footprint, but this will just ensure that it stays that way. Honestly, the mechanic I'm talking about is from Eco Lifestyle. That's actually one of my favorite packs. I will say the eco footprint mechanic is not really the best because I feel like it's really, really easy to keep a eco green footprint, and I wish it was a little bit more challenging. I guess I'm glad it isn't too challenging, because if it was really, really challenging, then it would become annoying. But I think it would be kind of cool if different worlds had different difficulty levels. Like maybe Granite Falls is really easy, but then you go to Evergreen Harbor and it's really difficult. All right, let me look through here, and I'm going to add some more landscaping out here. We're going to do debug landscaping, at least some of it will be. I'm going to try to include some that isn't debug just because I want that eco green footprint, but I also want to make sure that I use this somewhere, because you can't really, this isn't really in the catalog. It's just so pretty, and you can see it everywhere. Actually, that's the cool thing with using the live edit stuff, is you actually can use what you're looking at. So all these bushes here, oh, I forgot about that bush. I have to use it. Oh goodness, it's so pretty. But yeah, we can place that down. That's a beautiful big bush that just adds a lot of privacy probably to this home, but also it just kind of keeps the landscaping looking nice and cohesive throughout. We'll add some of these as well. It's a lot of purple. Something I really like about the landscaping that came with Outdoor Retreat, particularly the ones that are, debug, is there's a lot of purple flowers, and me, I love a good purple flower. It's going to continue placing these down and then get moving on to the interior. But while I am doing this landscaping, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to the Creator Network for supporting the channel. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by using my creator code at checkout on the EA app. You just have to type in luccaowens, LUCCAOWENS, and just whenever you're purchasing any kind of Sims 4 packs or DLC, if you're also purchasing Dragon Age, one of my favorite games of all time, I highly recommend you use my code. I get a small commission based off of that use. And yeah, big thanks to you all for using my code, and also just a big thank you to EA for supporting the channel. Let's just keep on keeping on, y'all. I think I'm gonna put another one of these bushes right here. That's really pretty. And I think we should add some rocks now. I think it's time. We need to add some rocks. Outdoor Retreat has some pretty crazy looking rocks. They're pretty awesome, just saying. We can put as many as we can near the house. They are going to look a little bit textured, a little bit more texture than they are going to be in your game. So just be aware of that. I am using a terrain override mod. It just overwrites the texture of the ground, the terrain paints, and the rocks, at least some of them. Okay, so I placed down a bunch of bushes and just kind of repeated a lot. It's really wild looking. I am going to also go in now and place down some trees. Of course, we've got to do that. I'm going to place one of these down somewhere just because there is these trees everywhere. But right here, we do need to add probably some kind of terrain paint. I'm not really going to do anything too elaborate, I don't think. It honestly seems like it's going to be as simple as just placing down some kind of gravel. Ooh, that's actually kind of nice. Just right here. Let's go ahead and we will light up this place. I don't mean light it on fire. I mean just place down some lighting. There is this lighting that came with Outdoor Retreat that I think looks really cool. We'll just place a couple of those around, just so there is some kind of light. But I also would like to add some kind of candles or something that isn't super bright. I want to keep the light pollution, kind of low. Outdoor Retreat has some really cool lights that they're not listed under the outdoor lighting, weirdly enough, which I personally think is weird. They're a floor lamp, but it's these moonlight lanterns. They are so stinking pretty, and these are just going to add a lovely amount of ambient light. Nothing too bright and intense, intense, but just enough to, you know, add a little something. I think we'll even get rid of this light right here. Yeah, that looks really, really pretty. It's just enough in some spots to light it up outside. It kind of is going to bring some light inside too. And I do want to put some kind of ceiling light outside as well, but again, I don't want it to be like intensely bright. I would like it to still be quite low light. I kind of like this light here from Cats and Dogs. I don't know if that really fits the vibe. Let's just place one down like right here and we'll see how that looks. I mean, it does kind of work. I think I do like it. I think I'm going to place another one back here. Yeah, that's nice. I do need to add some doors back here for this area too. Actually, hold on. We have some sliding doors. I might be able to put one right here. This is kind of nice. I don't know if this is going to work with the glass walls that we have set up, but that's a really cool little opening for the bedroom. And then I'm going to go ahead, just for the sake of building, I'm going to add some saucer lights. These will probably get taken away and we'll probably keep the lighting pretty low for this home. This is the fully built shell, already completed. Honestly, I will give you a little, you know, screenshot, or not a screenshot, but a look at the floor plan here. If you want to take a screenshot, take a picture, do something, recreate it. You can probably just place this down once it's actually finished without any furniture. But the only thing I'm not loving though is the fact that you can see the bathroom as soon as you walk in. So we're just gonna pretend that these go frosted whenever they turn a button on, but also we'll put some curtains or something up. You know, it's The Sims. We don't have to worry about realism. I think I'm going to put just some simple seating. I feel like this from the Perfect Patio set might work the best. The colors are too bright though. So I need something that is still pretty simple and modern, but kind of works with the stylings. Ooh, is this a table? This is a table, but I think it looks so good out here. That's really pretty. Like, I definitely need to use this on the interior because I feel like that would be a great way to bring the outside in. I need some kind of seating. I get distracted so easily. I mean, I guess we can literally use this ottoman that came with Outdoor Retreat. It kind of brings the nature to it. We are going to be using a lot of stuff from Outdoor Retreat in this build, I'm pretty sure. So that way it still feels like it fits here. I think that this area definitely needs some plants for sure. Even though we're surrounded by nature already, I think it would still be really cool to have some plants out here. I love this plant here. It's from the Enchanted by Nature. The nature is in the name, so I might as well use it. And then there is a plant that came with Jungle Adventure that I really, really like using. And it's actually pretty tall. It is this one right here. I think it's going to fit perfectly right there. It actually works with the light too, because they both have this dark brown on them. And then maybe we just need like a little rug here, possibly. I'd rather it be something that's quite modern looking too. Maybe just this brown rug. Actually, yeah, I like it being offset so that it doesn't, you know, get in the way of the plant. I think to kind of help hide the bathroom just a little bit from outdoor people, you know, just walking by. We could even get some taller plants out here. We even have this item that came with Outdoor or Evergreen Harbor. Eco Lifestyle. That I always want to call it Evergreen Harbor for some reason, but we can place it down just like that. And that doesn't really, it's not like perfect, but it does add something. In fact, I have an idea. What if we find this item right here? We can place it down. Ooh, wait a minute. That works really well. It kind of hides that little gap. And we can even use move objects just to kind of tuck it in a little bit more. Wait a minute. That actually works really, really well. That way there is a little bit more privacy. It's not like blocking everything, but it's enough. And then maybe we can even add some more like seating out here. Honestly, let's just add a couple of these too. This can be just mainly for looks, but it's also a place for your Sims to sit. I'm probably going to use this plant from Jungle Adventure quite a bit just because it's a very simple little plant. It's not a little plant by any means, but it's a simple plant nonetheless. The new band, Simple Plant. I think I'm going to actually place this like this instead, just because that feels a little bit better. Maybe I'll put just one in the middle. That's nice. And I think I'm going to get rid of this column, and I would like to put a outdoor dining space. Well, this is a bathroom. It's going to kind of be awkward having a dining space next to a bathroom. Well, we'll just put curtains. You know what? The curtains will solve everything because I really want to put a little table out here. Just a small one. I'm thinking probably this one. I kind of like that bright wood, but I don't know. Maybe this dark color looks better. There's also this one that's from Island Living that I absolutely adore. It normally has like really bright colors on it, but there's this swatch here that actually it looks really cool. I'm trying to think what would go with that table. Maybe this. I know these are very like recycled and stuff, but that looks really cool. I mean, we could even use the big dining table that we did get with those chairs. It's this one right here. Honestly, it's kind of a moment. I really enjoy that. It's pretty cramped right here. Like I almost wish I could expand it out, but you know, I kind of like how intimate and cozy it is. What if we did something like this? We put the column here and then maybe we bring this over and then like angle it. Is that weird? You know what? I'm going to just say it isn't. We'll get rid of this planter or this table, coffee, what do you call it? Seating, bench, whatever. We'll just put this here instead. And then I think I'm going to put this over like here maybe, or just get rid of it entirely. You know, we'll just get rid of these entirely. I think that we don't really need columns with this kind of home. I feel like, you know, it's more dramatic. Let's go ahead and I think I'm going to continue the little planter kind of coverage situation here as well on this side, just because, you know, this is a dining space and at the very least, it'll cover up some of the space. We won't do that for this bathroom just because I feel like we don't really need to worry about that one. I think we're pretty much done. I do want to add a couple of things out here, of course, like decoration wise. We'll put this little candle thingamadoodle right here, I think. I think we'll do the gray and we should put a rug out here too, shouldn't we? You know, the more I'm looking at this, the less I'm liking the table. It's just so big. And I think we just need something smaller. Maybe we'll just use this one from the base game and we'll use the matching windows that goes with it as well. Not windows. What am I saying, y'all? Matching chairs. Ooh, the green. Oh, that's so pretty. Honestly, that's a little bit better. Takes up a little less space, adds a little bit more color. We can use this darker swatch maybe that one. That looks really good actually. And then I can maybe, we can add these little lights, these little candles on this table. That's super cute. And then maybe we can do a round rug to kind of reflect that. I mean, we could just do this little brown one. I don't know. I feel like that looks weird. Ew, I don't know if I like it. Maybe this one? It adds some nice color variety there and it kind of looks good. I think I might take another one of these lights and put it like right there in the middle too. And then I'm just going to add a couple more plants out here as well as another little rug or rooney. We might put one right here too. Okay, that looks pretty nice. We do need I think a grill possibly. You know, I'll put this one. This one kind of looks like it may be a grill that just kind of came with the place. It's kind of grungy looking, but I kind of like it. And plus it's really simple. All right, so outdoor spaces pretty much done. I am going to add what is it called? A bicycle. I'm going to add a bicycle out here just for the sake, you know, we're in the mountains. Actually, we have these and I think we've got some like more mountain biking. This one's called the Mountain Trailblazer. We'll put that one instead. And there's a green version. So actually, let's put 2 out here. Why not? And I guess I do need to include like some kind of trash situation. There is one that came with Outdoor Retreat. We can just kind of put one right here. And I'll put a mailbox. Not really necessary here in Granite Falls, but it'll at least add to this being maybe a home, you know. That's cute. All right, let's move on to the interior. All right, let's start with the kitchen here. So I know it's going to be a little bit of an unorthodox layout for a kitchen, but what we're going to do is we're going to place a wall right here and then, you know, copy and paste this over. We're going to put a column here and then this will be where the refrigerator and the counters start. I think I'm going to use this brown refrigerator just because it makes sense. This is from the Cool Kitchen stuff pack. And then for the counters, I was kind of debating on whether I should use this one from the Horse Ranch pack because it has a really nice, like, you know, set of swatches, but I think I really want to just use this one from Home Chef Hustle just because it has a really good variety of swatches. And this one really caught my eye because it has like a nice bit of contrast, but it's still kind of that warm grayish kind of color scheme. And yeah, I'm going to put this corner cabinet right here. And then we're going to do this where we put another cabinet here, another cabinet here. I'm not putting a half wall here because if I do, it makes this singular cabinet right here like shrink. It just looks awkward. So we're just going to do this kind of situation. Oh, we're actually going to do the island. So we'll place that down like so. I think I did it just to there, I'm pretty sure. Actually, I went one step farther back, just like that. So it's a little bit of a weird kitchen. Like there's not like going to be a countertop against the wall besides this corner one, but that means we can still keep all the exterior walls glass. Let's see. I think I want to just use the dark swatch for the sink. I feel like having the sink like maybe right here is still good because it's still centered with, you know, the exterior kind of window kind of situation. Not a window, it's a wall, but you know what I mean. For the stove, I was kind of unsure what to do. I think I'm going to see about placing this here. Do you see it on the exterior? You can't. Okay, that's awesome. So I'm going to put this right here. I think, yes, that swatch matches pretty well. And then we can put the little induction burner kind of situation like right there. Maybe putting it next to the sink is a little bit strange. I'm just unsure where it would go. I feel like putting it right there is okay, but I almost want to just put it right there instead, but I don't know if it's functional. This is a little bit of a tricky little situation. I do think, you know what? I think I'm going to leave it. I think it's okay. Maybe we'll just put it there. I don't know. We'll put it here. We'll put it back. I don't know. I'm not really sure. But there is another item that I want to use here just because I want to have something right here. So if we go to, I think miscellaneous, it's an item that came with the businesses and hobbies expansion pack. It's this peekaboo partition. We can put that literally right there and we can do this like dark wooden swatch. I think that looks really good actually. And then this can be where there is some seating. I think that I'm not going to include a dining space and we'll use these little stools from the base game. Ooh, I love that. Is there a darker swatch of this? Yes, that's perfect. So we kind of got some kind of kitchen set up here. I feel like it would be sacrilegious to not include some kind of coffee station. As somebody who is an avid coffee drinker, I think we definitely need that. I think I'm going to use this kind of drip, like this vintage like drip one. It's kind of nice actually, unless we want to put something on this wall, but that's kind of awkward. I don't know, this kitchen's weird, but it's kind of cool. And then we'll just put some of these rugs here as, you know, just like a little runner. We'll put them together with move objects. That kind of ties in all that brown. And then I'm going to put some plants in this little corner, I think. I kind of like this plant set. It's kind of in the way though, but I kind of love it. That is from the Snowy Escape pack, and honestly I think that looks really good right there. Or maybe we'll put it like here. That looks better. And then maybe we can just put like a little chair or something here in the corner. Just, you know, just so there's something there like this one. That's kind of a nice little vibe. Perfect. I kind of like that little blue, like little backing there. I think the kitchen is pretty much set up. Let's add some more little bits of clutter, you know, some essentials, you know, we got to have like a drying rack for the dishes. That's kind of essential, I would hope. Maybe a little bread box. That's kind of cute. We don't really have a lot of like hidden counter space, so we kind of just have to keep it pretty clean. I actually think that looks really good, but we'll need to add some lighting in here as well. Thankfully there isn't any like skylights over the main part of the kitchen as much, so it's not going to be like super awkward. I think we might just use this one right here. It's very pretty. It's from the Eco Lifestyle pack. That's actually very nice. I like that. It's very simple and understated. We've got to include a trash can. I didn't forget it. I'm going to use this one from Snowy Escape since it just kind of, you know, the color kind of just works. I keep saying things are done, but then I get the ideas to add more items. Like this season's little like, you know, light bar kind of situation. Yeah, maybe we should include some cabinets right here. I kind of want to do like a different color, like this dark wood, you know, just because it kind of works with some of the other, you know, furniture and like other things. I guess I will put it in a proper dining space because we do have the room here. And I think I'm going to make it fairly small unless I use this one. Ooh, this table is kind of cool. Maybe actually we can use the table that we were going to use outside, but was just a little bit too big. It's the crafted table that we got with an event. I'm going to be honest, I have a hard time keeping up with those events. Ooh, it does look really, really pretty. That color is so perfect. And I don't know if I want to use the same chairs. I kind of want to use something a little different. Ooh, this chair from Snowy Escape looks really nice. I kind of like that more. And then I need to find a good rug. Something that's fairly contemporary and simple, but still has some good like texture to it. Ooh, this rug here. It is from a kit. I don't remember which one, to be honest. What is this one called? This one's the Refined Living Room. I think this one is kind of perfect for this space. Has some really cool swatches, but I think I'm going to go with this one. Just very subtle and simple. Let's get some nice kind of lighting situation. Even though we have a skylight like directly over this, we'll just pretend that it's set up right. Ooh, this light I have not used in a long time. That's really cool. And then we do need some kind of like centerpiece, maybe a plant or a flower or something here. Ooh, this item right here is from the kitchen, like the newest kitchen kit. It's very simple, but it's very cute. And then on this wall right here, I would like to include some kind of bookshelf. I want it to be fairly minimal. This is kind of a cool bookshelf to put. It's from the same Refined Living Room kit. Ooh, that is very pretty and very simple. And then I'll put a painting right here. There's not going to be a lot of art in this home, so I got to take advantage of it while I can. I think I'm just going to use that one from the base game that's like kind of, it's got like a pattern to it. We got it in, I believe, that update where we got like the kind of, I think it was like the Caribbean stuff. I could be wrong. It's this one right here. It's it's a hand woven tapestry. It's this one right here. I would really like that one. I think it's just because I like the frame. That's usually what happens, is it's because the frame is nice. Do I want to include like a little table underneath it, or is that going to seem like too much? I think it might be too much for that space. Maybe we can put it here instead and then do this. I don't like it whenever a table is on two different floorings. Like this seems to cut it off weird, and I don't want to just put it there. Maybe I won't include it at all. Maybe we'll just put this painting here and leave it at that. Or better yet, I can put the door right here and then put the painting right there and then the table right here, okay? Just to keep it pretty minimal and simple, I'm going to add, I think, some little candles just right there. Oh, but I kind of have to put a plant. If I put a candle, I have to put a plant. And then I also have to put a little thing of books or something there. Ooh, this little terrarium situation is cute. Maybe we can put this in the middle here. We can put a different little candle right here also. This one's kind of perfect, actually. And then I'm going to put like a little item of like books or something here on the corner. It's probably just going to be this one from the base game. I tend to use that a lot. We'll move over here to the living room. I was going to include a fireplace, but that means I would have to probably put some actual like regular walls right here. I feel like that's better anyways, because we do need a place to put the TV. So technically this home isn't really like fully glass walls, but it basically is. We're going to use the Dream Home Decorator sectional right here, just because I feel like the colors are just right, but also it's just like the style fits really well. We can put the coffee table right here. That looks kind of cool, actually. It adds some nature in. And then what kind of rug should I include here? It's kind of tricky because I didn't pick this out earlier. Something that is fairly simple. Maybe we can just use this rug again, but then just use a different swatch. Ooh, it fits so well. Maybe we can do this one so that there's a little bit of a pattern here. Ooh, I do like that. That's actually pretty nice too. And then right here, I'm going to put a fireplace. I'm going to use the one from Snowy Escape because I feel like that one just, I mean, it's the perfect style, the perfect vibe. Let's see. I got to pick out a swatch. That warm swatch is nice, but I almost feel like it needs a bit of cool colors in here to kind of contrast it a little bit. And then of course I'm going to use the art TV there just to make sure that it, looks like there's some art in here. I wish there was different like art on that. I wish it was a little less intense. I kind of want to put like this here for this little space, like the little jars. I don't know if that looks good though. I don't think it does. I think I'll just add this light that I used in the kitchen. Ooh, there's a green swatch. Ooh, that's quite nice. Maybe that's too much. like matching stuff. Yeah, we'll just use the default swatch. That looks really good. And then I guess right next to it, we can just add more plants. Maybe this one. Ooh, that fits so well right there. And then I think a little chair right here in this little corner would be good. Thankfully, we got one with Snowy Escape that I think looks perfect. That one looks kind of cute. That one matches this a little bit better though. So I'm gonna go with that. And I think we do need to include a lamp right here. Ooh, this one's really cool, but it's too big. I think maybe we can use this one from the Seasons expansion pack. How does that look? Is that kind of weird? I don't know. I don't think I like it. Ooh, this one's kind of nice. Ooh, I like that one a lot. I don't really use that either. There's a green swatch too. That's kind of perfect. Alrighty, let's move on to this first bedroom here. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. The feng shui of this bedroom is not going to be good. I'm going to be real with you. It just has to be like that, unfortunately. We're going to put the bed right here. I know. It's not awful, but it's not great either. Because the entrance to the bathroom shouldn't be like right next to the bed like that. It should be kind of at the foot. But, you know, we kind of don't have that ability because there's all glass. So we're just going to have to overlook that. I am just going to use a really simple little bed here. This is from Dream Home Decorator. Honestly, Dream Home Decorator going to be really useful here. And then I am going to at least remedy the fact that the bathroom door is like right there. And I'm going to put this partition here. I feel like that helps a lot. Ooh, and I really want to use these bedside tables from Seasons. They are still modern enough that they fit the style, but they have like a bit of a wood tone and it like, I don't know, they have a good style, but they're also not too big either. I really like the size of those. Do I use these windows from the Outdoor Retreat pack? I feel like it would be silly of me not to because they're really cool. And then maybe it's some kind of mirror here. I don't really know if a mirror is pretty necessary. Ooh, this one's kind of a vibe. Ooh, I like that a lot actually. And then I do need to include some kind of like wardrobe situation. I want something smaller, you know, because I'm thinking, think about it this way. This is a rental area. Maybe this. Ooh, I've never used this dresser before, I don't think. And that actually works perfectly. Let me find a nice rug for the bedroom spot or the bedding area. This is kind of cute. Ooh, I actually really like that because it kind of brings in a little bit of warmth and it kind of, you know, prevents it from being like too modern. I was gonna do a love seat, but this couch, kind of a moment. It's from Snowy Escape. That's so nice, actually. I feel like it would be really good to include that in here so that you have like some couples and they're sharing the space. Maybe they can have their own little private area. We can probably put a little coffee table here. That would be kind of nice. Ooh, this one from the fitness stuff pack. That's kind of cool. I think I'm going to use this rug again. I don't know. Does that look good or is that too many rugs? I think that might be too many rugs. Yeah, I kind of don't know about this now. If I do, maybe I should put it like this kind of orientation so that, you know, it's like not facing the bed. What do we think of that? You know, I'm not mad about that. That kind of helps kind of separate it. Maybe we can even do this. Let's find a nice lamp. Maybe this one. It's a very simple lamp, but I really like it for this space. And I think I am going to include a rug, but I think I'm just going to put like a little one, like right here. Maybe we can even make it, no, we'll just leave it that small. That way there's some, I don't like that. I'm going in circles again. Forgive me, but I tend to do that because I am quite the indecisive person. Maybe we need to bring the couch over this way and this coffee table over. That's a little bit better. I don't know if I like this rug color. Maybe we should just include this rug once again because it is very simple. We can do like a smaller version of it and then just use like maybe that. I like that. The placement is a little bit strange, but I think it's just because the couch is a little bit not symmetrical. And then I'll put another mirror above the little dresser here. This is kind of a vibe. Yeah, that's cute. That's very simple. And then I'm just going to put a couple clutter items in here. I'm keeping this pretty clean just because it is like, it's a rental. So we're not really needing to add too much personal like stuff here. Ooh, this item right here, this little self-care book tray would fit perfectly here just because it looks like they're reading a book, they're drinking some coffee, and they're looking out into the trees. You know what? I think I'm just not going to really put anything on this like surface here unless, ooh, like this little phone would be kind of cool. Maybe there's like a landline here for, you know, maybe there's bad reception or something. And then maybe this like portrait picture here. That's cute. And then let me find a proper ceiling light here. Kind of want to use this one again for maybe right here. That's all right. I like that. I do want some kind of like wall light over on this wall too, just because it's kind of dark in this corner. I just need a simple little light, just something that's small, practical, and still fits in with the sort of modern vibe that we've got. Maybe just this light here. I don't love how cool toned that is though. So I'm just gonna probably use this one from Spa Day. It adds a little bit of light. And I kind of like that for in here. All right, a nice little cozy little bedroom. It's still very bright and spacious, obviously, because there's a lot of windows, but that's a really cool like view. Like imagine just sitting here and that's your view. Oh my goodness. All right, we need to work on this little bathroom now. Ooh, the toilet being right where the door is very awkward, but alas, we kind of have to do that because of the placement. Should we place it there or should we just do it on a back wall over here? You know what? It's The Sims. I'm allowed to do what I want. I think what I'll do is I'll get this this partition here from Businesses and Hobbies. We'll get the large one. We'll shrink it down twice and then place it right here. That way we have a partition, but it's kind of separate. Or do we want to put the toilet here? What kind of sink did I want to use? Maybe just this modern one here. I mean, that looks good, but this one does not. Maybe we don't use this toilet. Maybe we use something that's a proper color. There is one that came with the base game that's like this. I think there's actually, ooh, there's a swatch that came with Island Living that looks really good. Maybe we'll just use that. And then maybe right here can be like one of these like linen closet thingies. This one is from Seasons. I kind of like these like rich browns in here. And then right here is going to be where this shower is. I'm going to use one of these freestanding showers. This one's from Snowy Escape. I think that one just looks really nice and luxurious. And then on this wall right here, I am going to include like a little rack or two of things. And then we'll of course include the, toilet paper. Of course, we have to add that. Why would we not? And then just, the usual, a towel for drying your hands, a mirror to look at. I just need like a simple little mirror. I don't need anything crazy. Something like that kind of works, but I kind of want to use that swatch instead. That looks nice. I don't think we can actually put we can't put a hand soap on this sink, unfortunately. So I'm just not going to worry about it. And then we do need some kind of rug in here. This one's just really speaking to me today. I don't know why. I think it's just the color. And then we need to pick out some kind of lighting for this space in here. Ooh, this like hardware lamp kind of situation kind of looks neat. That's something I don't really use. I think that looks kind of cool. We'll try to make the other bathroom look a little different, but yeah, let's go ahead and I guess we can move on to the next bedroom right here. So we're essentially going to be doing the same thing with this room here. I'm going to get this partition once again, and we're going to use that to divide this little walkway into the bathroom from the bed so that feng shui is a little bit better. And for the bed, I actually wanted to use something a little different. I want to use this one. This is from Outdoor Retreat. It's super pretty. I love this bed. And then for the end tables, I don't know. Maybe I should use the ones that came with Outdoor Retreat as well. I feel like that looks kind of pretty. I don't know if it really fits the style of the home though. Maybe I'll use this one from Snowy Escape. That actually is kind of nice. It's a little small, but they look really nice and simple. You can never go wrong with those little tables. But lamps don't always like working on them if they're too big. So it has to be kind of a smaller lamp. What's this one? It's from Businesses and Hobbies. It kind of works, but I kind of don't like that very much. Wow, there really isn't many lamps that work with these. Oh dear. I mean, these lamps are okay. I don't love them, but they're from City Living. That's all right. Maybe they need to be a different color. The black actually looks a lot nicer. However, I don't think I'm actually a big fan of these. Yeah, I'm going to use some different ones. I think we're just going to use the same ones we used in the other bedroom, but we're going to use the solid brown swatch. What was I thinking? Why did I try to use something different? Like, come on. I do think instead of a mirror, I want to put some nice art above this. Even though the view is the art, I still think it would look kind of nice to have maybe something small like this little painting perhaps. That actually is kind of cute. I do like it. And then the dresser and stuff can just go right here. What about this one from eco lifestyle. I kind of like that actually. It's modern, but it has like some variety and texture. And then maybe I can use this mirror from Seasons. That's kind of cool. I don't really use that swatch either. And then we'll just put in some nice lamps here. What's a good like floor lamp that would look good in here? Ooh, this is okay. It's kind of modern looking. Not really a big fan of the colors. This one will do. This one is from that, I think it's Book Nook, the Book Nook kit. That is so hard for me to say really fast. And I think since this is the front of the house, technically, I do want to put some kind of window covering, at least make it look like there's a window covering for the most part. I mean, this is actually kind of all right. Does that look okay? Does that look silly? I mean, we could just use move objects and just kind of like push these in together. You know what? I'm gonna just say it's okay. We'll put in these little curtain rod situations. Oh, that doesn't look good. Oh dear, that doesn't look so great. Okay, we'll just have to use the 9 key to lift it one little notch here just to make it look good. I don't like these. I don't like these in hindsight. In fact, I think I'm just gonna go with my gut and use the tried and true curtains from the Desert Oasis kit. Is that what it's called? You know, that one desert kit. It's got these really cool curtains. Those just make the most sense, you know, especially for a room like this. And then let's see, what kind of rug should I use in here? I feel like this one is very nice. I tend to use it so much too. It's kind of hard to see. Oh, yeah, that is very nice actually. This is a bit more of a subtle room. I really like it. I kind of want to use this lamp in here again. It's very pretty. And then there is this little bathroom here. Now I am going to add this curtain right here just because it's the front of the house and it makes the most sense to do that. How do we want to set this up though? Because it would feel weird to put a shower next to curtains like that. Maybe we should do a bathtub instead then. Maybe that would look and feel a little bit better. Ooh, maybe this like little corner bathtub. We can make it work, hopefully. Yeah, we can put this here. Maybe we can even use like a slightly different swatch. Actually, maybe that one. That's cute. It kind of works. I don't know. Kind of doesn't. Y'all, when it comes to swatches, I will go in loops. Okay, I'll go in absolute loops. Maybe we can put this here. We can put this sink right there. That's pretty cramped. I think I'm just not gonna do that. I think we're just gonna keep it simple and we are gonna put in a shower. I'm just gonna use this one right here. I mean, it's fine. We don't need to worry about the curtains. Maybe they're waterproof curtains. We'll just say that. And then I am going to use this partition, the same one that we used in this one as well. I like matching these rooms like this, but we don't want to match like every single item. Yeah, that way they're kind of a little bit differentiated slightly. And we'll place this there. That's really cute. Need a little toilet roll holder right here. We'll put it right there. A little hand soap. I guess we can include the toothbrush in this one. And then a little mirror as well. Ooh, I kind of like this round mirror from the spa day pack. There's like different colored like little rings on it. The orange is kind of a vibe. And then I think that's really it that I can include in here. Maybe we can put in a plant. A plant is always welcome in my opinion. Maybe we'll just put like this one, this little fiddle leaf fig. Beautiful. Oh, and we need a rug. We'll just use the same one that we used in here. We'll do that. And then maybe we'll just use these same lights as well. We will shrink them down just for the sake of making it not so awkward looking. And I think that is everything. We decorated the entire house, this little porch area. There isn't a lot going on. Maybe I need to include some hobbies and stuff. Ooh, absolutely I should. I think putting maybe like a yoga mat right out here would be really nice. Maybe I can also put a little meditation little stool right there. And then maybe on either side, I can put in some like little candles, maybe just like these. I think that's really it though. That looks really, really pretty. And I'm honestly not a fan of modern homes, but I like this one a lot. I think this is very, very pretty. Alrighty, y'all. So here is the build. I'll go ahead and give you a little tour. So as you can see, it's nice and boxy, but I did cover it in enough plants that I feel like it blends in pretty well with the environment. My favorite part of this build is that you can quite literally see directly through it. You can look through it to the other side for the most part. The only place you can't really do that is through this area here, but honestly, this view is so cool. I love this. But here is the entrance. Nice little space you just kind of step up into and you walk into this store here. It's pretty unassuming, but I think it's very nice. I kept it pretty minimally decorated just because I can feel like that this is like a vacation home, and so there's not really a lot going to be going on. And then we have the dining space. It's kind of dark, but it's kind of cozy. I really like that. The kitchen is kind of uniquely shaped. I have the counter kind of sticking out like this, but I think this is really functional. There's enough space to prepare food. You can go outside through this door, and then you have a nice little pergola area where you can eat over here, but then there's also a little yoga mat here to where, you know, you can do some yoga and maybe some meditating and stuff. And then we can go ahead and move on into this bedroom here. Very cute little bedroom, just a pretty small bedroom too, just a simple bed with a partition to kind of cover the door to the bathroom a little tiny bit. Simple dresser, simple mirror. And then this little bathroom is honestly super pretty. There is some greenery to kind of block it a little bit since it's on the main walkway on the porch outside. Just a lot of brown tones and beige. Nice little shower unit though. I would love this bathroom to be like, if I was on vacation, it'd be kind of nice. And then you walk through the dining space, and then there is another bedroom right here. This one's a little bit bigger, so there is like a proper little sitting area with, you know, some other amenities, but a very, very beautiful view. Like, look at that view. That's stunning and iconic. I can't even speak, y'all. And then we walk back through the bedroom, and then we can get to their little bathroom here. This one is a little less cluttered, but I think this one looks really good. It's got some nice views too. Like, look at this. Isn't that cool? And yeah, that is it. This is the roof. I added some solar panels up there, but then I'll give you a little shot of the floor plan as well so that you can check that out. But yeah, this home will be available on the Sims 4 gallery. All you have to do is search for my username luccaowens. That is LUCCAOWENS. That's also my creator code, just saying. But I just want to say a big thank you to my YouTube members, the Lavender Buds. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. I cannot begin to tell you how much I appreciate you all. If you want to become a member, you'll be able to get early access to my videos, and you get to be seen here scrolling on the screen here. But yeah, that is pretty much it for today. Do let me know in the comments down below if there's any other tips and suggestions and ideas and all that stuff that you want to see here on the channel. But yeah, that is it. Thank you all so very much for watching. Stay weird, and I'll speak to y'all next time. Bye, y'all.